Jai Sri Ram. By the grace of Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Jagannath, Lord Sri Ram, we will continue the story of Ramayana Part 2, Chapter 6, The Forest Sages. If you are not watched the previous chapter of the Ramayana, you may go to the playlist or click on the I button so that you can connect the journey of Ramayana from the beginning till chapter 6. The chapter 6, it is like this. After Bharata left, Ram continued to live on Chitrakuta mountain. As the months passed, Ram began to notice that the Rishi living nearby were always fearful and anxious. He approached the leading ascetics and bowing down humbly asked, "O venerable one, has something in my behavior given you cause for concern? Have either my brother or I been acting in a way not worthy of your esteemed forefathers? Is Sita behaving in a way unbecoming a young woman?" Rama had noticed on several occasions that the Brahmins spoke together while glancing at him. He knew that they were worried about something. Seated before them with uh, folded palms, Ram listened carefully as the leaders replied. How could there ever be any fault in the behavior of you or your brother, O Ram? One Rishi said, "What unseemly conduct will ever be seen in the gentle and high-born Sita? We know well your true identity." The Rishi glowed with ascetic power. They constantly chanted various names of God, fingering their wooden beads as they intoned the mantras. With a desire to render service to Ram, they addressed him as if he were an ordinary man. There is a powerful Rakshasa called Khara living near here. The Rishi continued. This demon is Ravana's younger brother and he is brutal, haughty, and sinful. Angered by your presence, he has been applicating us with more vehemence than usual. Ram frowned as he heard about the Rakshasa. He could not tolerate any aggression towards Brahmins. The Rishi went on. Khara and his horses for Rakshasa constantly impeded our sacrifice. The demons show themselves in hideous, savage, and frightening forms. They thrown flesh, bone, excrement, and urine down from the sky, defiling our sacrificial arenas. They make strange and terrible noises, and it is only a matter of time before they become violent towards us. We therefore desire to leave this place. Seeing sacrifice as their sacred duty, the ascetics wished to go to another forest where they would not be disturbed. As Brahmins, they would not themselves fight the Rakshasa. Although they were capable of checking them by their mystic power, they also understood that Ram wanted to destroy the demons, especially their leader Ravana. Rama tried to reassure the Rishi, but they were determined to leave. Having stayed on Chitrakuta for some years, the renounced ascetics were also concerned that they may have become attached to the material situation. Normally, they moved continuously from forest to forest, staying only 1 or 2 years in each place. After speaking a little more with Ram, informing him of where Khara lived, the Brahmins rose up in a body. With only their water pots and staffs, they left the region. Ram followed them for some distance in order to see them off with respect. He then returned to his hermitage, considering in his mind how to deal with the Rakshasa. When he reached his hut, Ram said to Lakshmana, I think the time has come for us to leave Chitrakuta. The Brahmins have left, and I am afraid that we will again be visited by the people who now know of our whereabouts. We should leave for some other more remote place, forest. Ram decided to make his way to the Dandaka forest, which was inhabited by the Rakshasa. He wanted to confront the demons. The two brothers donated their weapons, and with Sita walking between them, immediately left. After journeying for some days, they entered the Dandaka forest and come upon a cluster of hermitages. The Rishi there greeted them with respect. Those ascetic were endowed with him divine vision, and they were astonished to see Ram and his companies. The Lord of all the world was standing before them. Seeing Ram and Sita simply forest dressed, the sages felt wonder and awe. Away. They worshipped Ram with various prayers and offered him a hut for the night. Welcome indeed is your arrival in this wood, the Rishi said. The king is the protector of righteousness and the only refuge of the people. He stands with his scriptor and makes out justice as God's powerful representative. O Ram, we are your subjects and your servants. We are simply Brahmins who have renounced anger and control your senses. As such, we deserve your protection, even as a fetus is protected by its mother. Entertaining Ram with the forest produce, the ascetics describe how the Rakshasas has become increasingly violent. Under Ravana's leadership, the demons had become fearless and they attacked the Brahmins constantly. 14,000 powerful Rakshasas had taken off their residence in the Dandaka forest, headed by Ravana's two brothers, Khara and Dusana. The situation now was becoming unbearable for the sages. Ram and Lakshmana listened gravely. They resolved to deal with the Rakshasa as soon as possible. While they were conversing with the Rishi, Sita met Anusaya, the sage Arti's wife. Anusaya gave Sita a celestial garment, garland, and ornaments, along with celestial cosmetics and unguised. Sita accepted the gifts graciously and, with her husband's permission, adorned herself with them. After decorating herself with the heavenly appeal, apparel, she shone brilliantly, exactly like Lakshmi, the eternal consort of Vishnu. After spending the night with Rishis, the princess left with Sita and they penetrate deep into the Dandaka region. Lakshmana moved ahead and cleared a path with a sword, cutting through the thick creepers and bushes. Sita, her head covered with her cloth to protect herself from the swarms of insects that flew about, walked into the middle. In the middle, Ram brought of the rear, vigilantly watching on all sides and holding his bow at the ready. The cries of jackals and the shrieks of vulture and birds of prey could be heard all around. Here and there they saw uprooted, broken trees and the carcasses of slain beasts. As they broke through into a clearing, they suddenly saw a drearful looking Rakshasa, powerfully built and as tall as several men. He stood entirely blocking their way, with high pointed ears, fierce teeth protruding from his cavernous mouth, and blood red eyes staring out from a ugly miss serpent face. The demon was terrible to behold. He held a long lance on which he had spread four lions, three tigers, a couple of wolves, and about 10 spotted deer. Around his blackish and hairy body were trapped tiger skins, still dripping with blood and fat. He resembled the god of death standing with his staff of justice. When he saw Ram and the other, he let out a terrify, terrific roar that could be heard for many miles. He rushed furiously towards them and quickly seized Sita. Taking the princess a little distance away, the Rakshasa spoke to Ram and Lakshmana in a voice resounding like claps of thunder. Who are you two? Looking like ascetics but carrying weapons. You shame the Brahmins class with this strange behavior. Why have you brought a woman into this dense forest? Sinful as you are, you shall meet death at my hands. This lady shall become my wife. Today I shall drink your blood on the battlefield. Sita trembled in the monster clutches like a sapling trembling in a storm. Seeing her cry carried away by the Rakshasa, Ram said to Lakshmana, it seems that Kaikeyi cherished desire will today be fulfilled. This hideous demons has taken hold my sinless wife. There is nothing more painful for me than to see the princess of Videha touched by another. This is more painful even than the death of my father or the loss of my kingdom. Ram cried tears of sorrow as he spoke. Lakshmana became infuriated with the demons and he hissed like an angry cobra. Why are you, the Lord of all, being with me as your servant, grieving like a orphan? He asked, the earth will soon drink this beast's blood. The anger which I wrongly directed towards Bharata will today be released upon that foul demons. Watch now, as my arrow pierced his breast and he wheels around, falling lifeless to the ground. Rakshasa still awaiting a reply to his question, again boomed out, who are you and where are you going? Ram moved closer to the demons and replied, we are the two warriors of the royal order of Raghu who have came here in a jail. Tell us who are you and why you roam this forest, O wicked one. So you are kings of Ayodhya, the Rakshas replied. Know me to be Biradha, a Rakshasa who wandered the forest eating the flesh of sages. You should run away the way you come. I shall not kill you. I have been granted boons by Brahma and cannot be slain by any weapons. O Raghav, leave quickly and abandon this princess to me. Assuming a human from I shall sport with her as my wife. Rama grew furious. With a bloodshot eyes, he spoke in a voice like Indra. You pathetic fool! You are certainly seeking death. You will get it today on the battlefield. I shall not live with your life. Without uttering another word, Ram shot his seven golden feathered arrow at the demon. The arrow flew with the speed of a Garuda and pierced right through Birodha, falling off in the earth, drenched with his blood. The Rakshasa roared in the pain and released Sita with his lance of praise. He rushed at Rama and Lakshman. The brothers immediately sent a shower of arrow at the demon, even though pierced all over. Birodha remained standing, laughing aloud. He earned contemptuously. He then hauled his lance at Ram with the force of a tempest. Ram at once fired two arrows which cut the lance into three pieces as it coursed towards him. As it fell to the ground, the shattered lance resembled a rocky mountain ledge that had been struck by Indra thunderbolt. Rama and Lakshmana took out their swords, which resembled two black serpents preparing to attack. They rushed at the Rakshasa and began striking him with great voice. Virodha reached down and lifted both brothers one on each arm. Placing them on his shoulder, he ran towards wood. As Birodha approached the dense forest, Sita cried out, "Alas, where goes my lord? O best of the Rakshasa, please take me also. How can I remain here alone?" Hearing Sita plaintive wail, Ram raised his sword high and hacked off the demon's right arm. Lakshmana lopped off his arm, and Virodha fell upon the ground in a swoon. Although striking him with their sword and with kicks and punches, the brothers saw that the Rakshasa still did not die. Ram said to Lakshmana, "It is clear that due to his wounds, these demons cannot be killed by force. We should bury him in a pit, for this is the traditional way of disposing of the Rakshasa. Quickly dig a large pit, O tiger among men." Rama stood with his foot pressing down upon the Rakshasa neck. Virodha regained consciousness and said, "O Raghav, I am defeated by you. Your strength is not less than Indra's. I now know you to be the all powerful Rama and your wife, the highly fortunate Sita. I am the Gandharva named Tumburu. Due to not properly serving Kuvera, the Lord of Wealth, I was crushed by him." The fallen Rakshasa explained how a Tumburu he had previously been Kuvera's servant. One day Tumburu had been sporting with the Apsara and had failed to properly attend upon his master. In another Kuvera In anger, Kuvera had crossed him to enter a demon's fierce form. Tumburu had pleased for mercy, and Kuvera had replied, "When Ram, the son of the Dasarath, defeated you in battle, then you will attain your own form and return to heaven." Virodha spoke with difficulty, "By your grace, O Ram, I am freed from a terrible curse. I shall now go to my own abode. O Lord, 10 miles from here lives the sage Sarabhanga, who long to see you. Go to his hermitage, for he will give you good advice. Virada begged Ram to inter him in the pit so that he could die. Ram and Lakshmana rolled the huge body of the Rakshasa into the hole uh, Lakshmana had dug. After covering him with earth and rocks, they comforted Sita and then continued on their way, looking for Raghava Sarabhanga's hermitage. In the sky, in the sky, the gods had witnessed the whole scene. Seeing Ram, whom they knew to be the powerful Vishnu, acting like a human, they were astonished. Nothing was beyond Ram's knowledge or power, yet he accepted the feelings and action of an ordinary man. Pondering upon the import of Ram's deeds, the gods received Tambur back to them. Ram searched for Saravhanga, absorbed in a mood of affection for the sage. As the brother came near the ascetic hermitage, they saw in the sky of a golden chariot. In it shone like the midday sun and was drawn by 1,000 greenish horse, horses. The brilliant white can, canopy resembling a large cloud and decorated with magnificent garlands covered the chariot. Seated in the chariot was Indra, who was being fanned with white whiskey by the two beautiful young girls. In the sky, many other gods surrounded Indra, Ram, and Lakshmana saw numerous Gandharvas and Siddhas, all dressed in recipient silk garments and gold ornaments. All these high souled beings were worshipped Indra with Vedic humans. Upon seeing this wondrous sight, Ram said to Lakshmana, "O Lakshmana, see here Indra's wonderful chariot, full of grandeur. Those young men with broad chests and arms like lions' claws, wearing red garments and gold earring and surrounding him in the hundreds, appear as unassailable as tiger. Lakshmana gazed up at the host of gods assembled in the sky. All of them appeared young, youthful, and all had garlands as bright as fire on the chests. As the two princes looked on, the gods rose up into the sky and vanished. Amazed at this sight, Ram and Lakshmana walked on and entered Saravaga's hermitage. Saravahaga was seated before the sacrificial fire, having practiced asceticism for many years. He was able to fix his mind upon the supreme person within his heart. He had realized that Ram was the same person. In meditation, the sage prayed that he might be able to see God in his human form. Accordingly, Ram approached to the God, the old ascetic, and bowed low before him, touching his feet and saying, "I am Ram, and this is my brother Lakshmana and my wife Sita. At Birodha's behest, we have sought your presence. Birodha has now risen to even with the gods. Pray tell us what we should do. O jewel among sages." Sarabhaga rose immediately, his eyes folded with tears. He showed the three travelers a seat, offering them water and fruits. He said, "O Ram, there is no one more kind or merciful." After meditating for a very long time and reaching the end of my attachment to this world. I saw you in my heart. Now I see you here as the son of Dasharatha. After offering many prayers, the sage fell silent. He sat for some time, gazing with love upon Ram's face. Smiling, Ram asked, "Why did I see here the Lord of the gods, O sage?" The sage said that Indra had come to take me to the higher planets, with he which he had earned as a result of his asceticism. So Sarabhaga explained that, desiring to remain on earth to see Ram, he had sent Indra away. Now that I have been I have seen your transcendental form, I have no desire to go to the heavenly world. O Raghava, Sarvaga said, please take from me my ascetic merits. You you will doubtlessly rise beyond even the highest heaven and attain Vishnu immortal abode. O Lord one, Ram replied, but before leaving, pray tell me where I should go now." Sarabhaga directed Ram to the hermitage of another sage named Suti Krishna. He then gazed at Ram and entered a deep meditation. From within himself, Sarabhaga invoked the fire element and immolated his mortal frame, which quickly burned to ashes. The sage appeared in a shining spiritual body, and after offering his respect to Ram, rose up into the sky. Ram remained seated in Saravaga hermitage, and many other Rishi came there and begged him to dispose of the Rakshasa. They told him how the demons were killing thousands of Brahmins. Ram assured the Rishi that he would annihilate the Rakshasa in due course. He then left and went towards Shruti Krishna's hermitage, following Surabhaga's direction. Upon seeing Ram, Shruti Krishna offered many prayers and then took him to see the powerful Rishi Agastya. On the way to Agastya, they saw that the forest resembled the famous Nandana grove in the heavens. The ground was suddenly smooth, carpeted with soft grasses. Trees bent down on both sides under their heavy loads of ripe fruits. The clear lakes were filled with lotus and crowded with swans, crane, and many other very varieties of water birds. Flowers grew and trees blossomed everywhere. The animals were docile and approached the travelers without fear. Ram looked around at the wonderful scenery. It seems we are near Augustia's hermitage, he said. By his ascetics, the sage had transformed this forest into heaven. We will soon behold that shining grace. Requested by Lakshmana, Ram told various story about Agastya. He kept his brother and Sita entertained as they walked throughout the day. Finally, by evening, they arrived at the hermitage. Uh, as they approached it, Ram said, let us go to see Agastya, for he will surely bless us with all good fortune. I think that with his permission we shall remain in this region for the rest of our stay in the forest. She, Sutti Krishna went ahead and informed Agastya for their arrival. The sage quickly had them brought into the hermitage, and they entered the large compound. They saw numerous sacrificial fires, each dedicated to a particular god and tents by Agastya disciplines. All the principal deities, including the Supreme Lord Vishnu as well as Shiva, Brahma, and a dozen of other gods were being worshipped. Sacrificial smoke and the sound of a mantra filled the air. Agastya, feeling es- escapist, ecstasy, rose up from his seat and came swiftly towards Ram. Ram saw the sage coming and along with Lakshmana immediately prostrated himself on the ground. Sita stood closely behind with her hands folded and head bowed. Agastya Rishi Ram up and said, I have been thinking of you for a long time, Auragava. I am blessed by your appearance here. You are always beyond the influence of the uh, passable material energy. Simply by remembering you, one can be carried beyond the great ocean of birth, death, and suffering. What it then can be said of one who see you? Agastya sat the travelers down and after offering oblations into the sacred fire. He presented them with water and food. Seated in meditation, the sage then caused a great golden bow to appear there. They were also two quiver filled with sharp arrow which blazed like fire and a long sword sheathed in a golden scabbard. Augusta presented the weapon to Ram, telling him how in a previous age Vishnu had used them to assist the gods in a war against the demons. Rama accepted the celestial weapons respectfully and then asked the sages to tell him of a place where he could live. After again meditating for a while, the sage replied, by virtue of my ascetic and meditation, I have came to know you and understand your purpose. O Ram, I therefore suggest you go to a nearby forest called Panchavati. It is beautiful and sanctified. At that place, all your desire will be fulfilled. Augusta gave the brothers direction. After taking leave, Ram, Lakshmana, and Sita began the 20 miles walk to Panchavati, making their way along the narrow forest path. After a few miles, they came across a huge vulture laying in a clearing. Ram and Lakshmana, assuming it to be a Rakshasa. Quickly preparing to fight, Ram carefully approached the vulture, which resembled a hill. I am Ram, and my this is my brother Lakshmana, two descendants of Raghu. He declared, "Who are you and what is your race?" The gentle speech. The bard replied that he was a old friend of Dasaratha. His name was Jatayu, and he was the king of Bhalchur. He renounced to Ram his entire lineage, which began with the ancient sage Kardama. In the course of his narration, Jatayu described how all the various species of bird and animals had descended. Jatayu was the nephew of Garuda, the invisible eagle carrier of Vishnu. This forest is infested with Rakshasa and various beasts. Jatayu said, allow me to accompany you in the forest and I shall protect Sita when you two brothers go out to gather food. Ram knew of your Jatayu friendship with his brother. He joyfully embraced the great bird and gave his permission for Jatayu to follow him. Ram then continued towards Panchavati, eager to encounter the demons. After arriving at Panchavati, Ram selected a spot near the sacred river Godavari. Lakshmana sanctified the spot with prayers and water from river. He constructed a large hut with mud walls supported on long wooden pillars. Its roofs thatched with kusa grass and reeds. Ram was delighted to see the beautiful cottage and he embraced Lakshmana. With you as his son, very virtuous and always attentive to my needs and desires, surely the king still lives. Ram said affectionately, O Lakshmana, you are to me as good as my beloved father. Ram and Sita settled in the dwelling and lived peacefully, bathing in the Godavari and enjoying the sight of sound of the forest. So this is how Ram continued the traveling from Chitrakuta to the place of Jatayu. Jatayu is the nephew of Garuda, who is the place of Godavari, bank of the Godavari. Hope you got some information about um, Ramayan Part 2, Chapter 6, The Forest Sages. If you like this video, if you know some information about the Ramayana, you may subscribe the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Jai Jagannath, Jai Shri Krishna.